Such patterns have been observed in the majority of eruptions over the past 5,000 years. This implies that a significant increase in activity, particularly deep-seated seismic activity, could serve as an important warning sign with a potential lead time of 1.5 to 2 years before the eruption.
The haunting specter of pyroclastic flows and cascading molten lava is always on our minds. But some eruptions can have equally devastating indirect consequences. One of these disasters currently threatens Seattle on the west coast of the United States. Every day, its residents catch sight of a massive volcano in the distance, Mount Rainier. It is located at the heart of the Cascade Range, an ancient chain of mountains and volcanoes that constitutes the primary volcanic hazard for the United States. According to scientists, Mount Rainier is the country's most dangerous volcano.
One of the biggest threats in the Cascade Range to the US is Mount Rainier, a big volcano. So this volcano is over 4,000 meters in height, and it's covered in this ice and these glaciers.
Given the size of the volcano and the potential magma recharge occurring beneath it, if it were to undergo an eruption, it would be a strong contender for causing major problems. But if you add to that the presence of a glacier, well, when magma comes into contact with ice, it creates an even more explosive situation.
Located nearly 60 miles north of Mount Rainier, Seattle is beyond the reach of the pyroclastic flows that would result from a major eruption. However, if this titan of fire and ice were to explode, there is another threat that could potentially engulf the city. This doomsday scenario is not a product of imagination. On May 18, 1980, the eruption of Mount St. Helens, the smaller sibling and neighbor of Mount Rainier in the Cascade Range, caused widespread devastation. The eruption was captured on live film, and the terrifying footage sent shivers down the spines of both volcanologists and authorities.
Mount St. Helens is another active volcano in the US, and in 1980, that underwent an explosive eruption that might produce a kind of a similar effect to what we see at Mount Rainier.
On March 27, 1980, the eruption of Mount St. Helens began.
We are directly over Mount St. Helens right now. You can see smoke and ash, and there is no question at all that the volcanic activity has begun.
The surrounding areas are immediately evacuated. In the following days, American volcanologists are brought in as reinforcements, anticipating the eruption. Phreatic eruptions were occurring with increasing frequency at the summit of Mount St. Helens. Meanwhile, an enigmatic phenomenon is unfolding on one side of the volcano, completely unbeknownst to the experts.
Slowly, the volcano began to inflate, and it started to inflate towards the north in a very asymmetric way. The volcano inflated about 1.5 or even 2 meters a day.
The volcano was so full of magma and its slopes were so steep, especially on the side where a feature called the bulge, like a pregnant volcano with the bulge out the front, was horrifically unstable and ready, we know now, to slide.
That's when the ground began to shake. The scientists were astonished by what they saw. An entire flank of the volcano collapsed. In under 20 seconds, the magma trapped in the conduit erupted, releasing a torrent of scorching volcanic materials.
When you release pressure on magma, it's like opening the top of a shaken up Coca-Cola tin. Lots of bubbles which were inside the liquid because it's under huge pressure were released.
During its expulsion, the magma unleashed an incredibly powerful shockwave. In less than 3 minutes, this blast wreaked havoc, leaving devastation in its wake.
So there were just something like 4 to 6 seconds before the slide happening and the blast progressing. And then just a matter of tens of seconds before that blast overwhelmed people within 5, 6, 7 kilometers.
The eruption of Mount St. Helens in the 1980s resulted in the total devastation of 230 square miles of forest, which is about 6 times the size of Paris. The impact was immense. While the eruption claimed a relatively small number of lives, around 60, this can be attributed to the fact that the region was sparsely populated.